Hello, it's Cate Stillman with yogahealer.com, and I'm here to tell you a little bit about Ayurveda and meal spacing. There's a lot of confusion right now around how long we should wait between meals. Typical Western culture, right now people are eating 6 small meals a day. And if we go into Ayurveda and we look into why are they suggesting to eat just 2 to 3 times a day, we can get some great insight just through understanding the stages of digestion. So really quickly, looking at why is digestion so important in Ayurveda, you can see this. I just have this woman lying down in Shavasana, and you can see a snake above her, and seeing how our digestive tract, in a way, is this very simple North Pole, South Pole right now on the horizontal axis, and that digestion runs better with gravity, with the downward flow, than it does with this more horizontal flow. And that the digestive tract is very much like the body of a snake. So we have the head, you swallow, goes down your esophagus into your stomach, where it moves into your intestines, into your large intestine, and then you poop it out through your anus. So the limbs of the body, right, and all the organs of the body are fed by the digestive tract. So whatever's happening in the digestive tract is the gateway for nutrients to go into the body and the exit way for waste to go out of the body. So how you're feeling day to day, in many ways, is a reflection of the quality and the quantity of what is happening in your digestive tract. So looking at the stages of digestion will help us understand meal spacing and the advantages of eating just 2 or 3 times a day for people who are healthy enough to be able to do so. So when we first swallow food, it comes into our stomach. In Ayurveda, this is the kapha stage of digestion, and it'll last 1 to 2 hours depending on what you've eaten. If you've just had a green smoothie, it's going to be different than if you've had a steak dinner. So the amount of time that the food is going to be in your stomach is also going to depend on what kind of constitutional type and digestive type you are. So if you tend to have wet, slow digestion, what we call manda agni in Ayurveda, this stage of digestion is going to take longer. And you can notice simply how you feel 1 to 2 hours after eating. If you feel light, you feel clear, it means that this stage of digestion is healthy. If you feel bloated and boggy and have foggy thinking, it means this stage of digestion is not healthy. And there's some things that you're going to need to do. Okay, the next stage of digestion is the pitta stage. You can see it in the orange here in the middle. This is when food is passed from the stomach and is now in the intestines. And it's usually that second, then maybe 2 to 3 hours after eating, 2 to 4 hours after eating. And again, if you've just had a green smoothie and it's just been fruit and vegetables, you might be in a pitta stage much more quickly than that. Okay, so in this stage we're going into a much more biles released into the food mass, and digestions is happening on a deeper level. Now, if you tend to get the feeling of like hyperacidity or any sort of like acidic feeling in your body, that's a sign that this stage of digestion is out of balance. Vata stage of digestion is happening as food moves from the small intestine into the colon, into this ascending, transverse, descending colon, and out through the rectum anus. And that takes place usually somewhere between 3 and 6 hours after you've eaten food. Now in Ayurveda, we break it down even further to 6 stages of digestion, and I'm borrowing this image from Dr. Vasant Lad's textbook of Ayurveda. And here it's showing that each of the 6 tastes is absorbed one at a time, sequentially, through the process of digestion. There's other manners of absorption, including instant absorption of all 6 tastes, but this Ayurveda breaks down the stages of digestion for us to understand how actually what's happening in the different sections of the digestive tract are going to influence how well we're able to absorb each taste and the effect of that taste on the tissue of our body and the cells of our body. So every cell of our body needs all 6 tastes. If we're eating and then we're eating again 2-3 hours later, we're disrupting our body's ability to fully digest the tastes that are further down in the digestive tract. So sweet taste is absorbed in the stomach. Sour taste is absorbed in the bottom of the stomach. The salty taste is digested in the very beginning of the intestines. Pungent taste deep in the intestines. Bitter taste on the way out of the intestines, and astringent taste in the colon. At this point, a real hunger returns. An air element stimulates prana, and it stimulates the digestive fire. And at this point, astringent taste is moved into the plasma of the blood, and basically at this point, it's like it's fine to eat again. So if we look at what happens in the digestive tract, is like the digestive tract is giving nutrients into the blood. So the six tastes then circulate and irrigate and nourish the plasma of the blood. So if this cycle of taste is disrupted because you ate food during the sweet-sour part of digestion, 2 hours into digestion, you go and you have a handful of grapes, or you have coffee with milk in it, all of a sudden you're disrupting the flow of what's going to happen further down. And that's creating confusion. So now there's two things happening, two different places in the digestive tract, instead of one thing happening, one place to focus, one place to concentrate. And we all know what it's like to multitask and get distracted. If you're meal stacking, if you're stacking one meal on top of the next in the digestive tract, then there's not this kind of clear, easy organization which lends to an energized body and a clear mind. So for this reason, Ayurveda does not advocate meal stacking, and advocates to allow one meal to move fully through the digestive tract before we ingest another meal. And of course, this is so much easier said than done, right? To actually do this while there's all this wonderful food around, and coffee, beverages, and pieces of chocolate here and there. And that's really where it becomes challenging. And we can see that this very much is a yogic philosophy around digestion. And it does take this pulsation between fully eating, fully being absorbed in conscious movement of the external environment into your internal environment, and really intimately and deeply taking that in and honoring the consciousness and the plants that you've eaten, and the energy and the nutrients that they're giving your body, so that you can do the most that you can do with that, basically, and not just eating for sensory gratification, emotional gratification, or emotional disconnect. So at this point, it's good to ask yourself, with meal spacing, if you're a meal stacker, if you're stacking one meal on top of another meal, journal on some strategies to help you shift your eating habits in alignment with your physiology. Okay, so this is saying that, like it or not, there's the 6 stages of digestion. Like it or not, this is what's happening in the yoga of digestion. And just notice, do you eat after food leaves the stomach or small intestine? Do you eat when you first have that feeling of lightness, that first feeling of, oh, I feel light, there's enough room to eat again? Or do you wait it out until food's actually moved all the way through the intestines and is now in the colon? And this is something that, as yogis, you can feel. You very much have the capacity to feel and to notice. And what you might start to notice as you feel this is that when you really wait it, you enjoy your food more. Your senses are more awake. You can taste your food, smell your food. There's more pleasure in receiving. And then there's time to digest and time to do really something great with this life that's just not centered on sensory satiation for emotional gratification. So I have another little, one last slide for you, and just to start to notice the doshas in your gut. How do you feel an hour or two after eating? That's, remember, the kapha stage in your stomach. That's that initial 1 to 2 hour stage in your gut. How do you feel the first 2 hours after eating? Start to write this down. Keep a list. This is how I feel an hour or two after eating. I feel groggy. I feel satiated. I feel fantastic. I feel energized. I feel heavy. Just start to notice, and that's going to give you insight into what's happening in this phase of digestion. Then notice as well, and start to write down, how do you feel 2 to 5 hours after eating? I feel satiated. I feel acidic. I feel groggy. I feel sharp. I feel, write it down and start to notice what's going on with pitta in your digestive tract. And then notice again, how do you feel 3 to 6 hours after eating? Do you feel spacey? Do you feel light? Do you feel grounded? Do you feel wakeful? Do you feel energized? Write these things down so you start to bring some more awareness to what's happening in the 6 stages of your digestion. Okay, I hope this has been a helpful lesson on digestion, meal spacing, and the Ayurvedic perspective. And again, this has been Cate Stillman, yogahealer.com. And you can go to Yoga Healer to get your free training, Ayurveda for Yogis. That's always available and has some great longer lectures for you to listen to and really get a hit on how to bring Ayurveda into a more practical experience in your life for health and wellness for your whole family. Thank you.